This video is not a personal attack on people who like the show, simply a critique based on my thoughts and feelings as a longtime Scott Pilgrim fan. If you like the show, that's completely fine. This is just my personal take and it's not that deep. Like whatever you want to like, I don't give a fuck.
You are now watching Clicks.
What's up guys, welcome back to another brand new video, and today I'm going to be spitting out some hot takes regarding the new Scott Pilgrim show because it's hot fucking ass. The last review bombed because, you know, why wouldn't it, but I just had to make another one because I saw this with my girlfriend and I was like, what the fuck am I watching? Now, just some background for my experience with Scott Pilgrim. This is one of my favorite pieces of media of all time. I was first introduced to it when Lil Uzi Vert versus the World dropped when I was in like 5th grade, and I didn't really pay attention to it much then, but then a buddy in high school was getting into it too, and he was like the bone marrow baby of Leafy, so naturally I started reading it too, and then I watched the movie and I was hooked on this shit, bro. Absolutely wonderful art style, wonderful story, had me hooked from day one. I recommend everyone go watch it and read the comics. What I don't recommend you do is watch this shit first, because this is fucking awful. I usually don't get mad at pieces of media for being bad just because it's, you know, it's more funny than like angering, especially if it's an IP like FNAF where it's like I don't really care. Like this show does everything wrong, like genuinely, I'm not kidding. And I had high hopes for this show too. I was looking at leaks on Instagram and I thought it looked pretty cool. I kind of thought it was weird that it was like an anime, but whatever. That was the only red flag aside from the fact that Netflix was making it, because Netflix makes the greatest adaptations. Everyone knows this, right? And for some reason, this is like a hot take among people. I don't know why, but like people really like the show for some reason. And whenever I see these people, I just immediately think they only watched the movie or they just barely read the comics. And I know that Scott Pilgrim is like partly based on a manga, but like, I mean, come on, really? Don't put that in the comments to justify it being an anime. But hey, before I rag on it, I am going to note some things that I do like about it, because for one, the first episode is actually pretty good. It is definitely the best episode in the entire show by far, because it's quite literally the only part that makes sense in the entirety of this. I do like the fact that they tried to keep it in line with like the video game aesthetic. They definitely could have improved it on some parts, but overall, it wasn't too bad. The art style for the most part is also really good. It definitely has that O'Malley feel to it, and it's not too jarring to look at. I like the fact that they got basically the entirety of the movie cast back. I think that was a really nice touch, and it made it a little bit more enjoyable than it would have been if it wasn't them. And that's all the appraisal I'm gonna give this show, because the rest of it is utterly dog shit. So let's get right into that.
This is what? This is boring. Delete.
First of all, I touched on this earlier. Why is this show an anime? Artistically, it does not really fit, like, at all. The body language and the little starry eyes and, like, the little outbursts of embarrassment, like it's a fucking tsundere, just, like, off-puts me. And I think the worst part of it is it doesn't even really feel like Scott Pilgrim. Like, if they had kept this art style, but, like, taken away a lot of the anime aspects of it, I think it would have been great. Some of the animation feels cheap, except for when they were playing those instruments. That was really good. I kind of wish they had just kept it like that instead of it being like Mappa. Like I said, animation, art style, cool. Now let's address the elephant in the room, which is the plot. Now, when I first saw these leaks, I was thinking to myself, well, I think this is just going to be an animation of the comics, and they're going to go more in depth than the movie could, and with a better design choice. And I was thinking, you know, they might make a little bit of creative differences here and there, but it's not going to ruin the whole show. Like if they had like a little Uzi Vert cameo in there, I don't know, that would have been cool. That's just me though. That's what me and my girlfriend were thinking. That's probably what everybody who was very familiar with the series was probably thinking too. And you know, honestly, I wouldn't have been disappointed if it was just marketed as like this weird fanfic thing, because that's honestly how it feels with how many edits they made to it. And it realistically shouldn't even be called Scott Pilgrim because he's in the show for like 23 minutes. So it honestly should just be renamed to Ramona Flowers Makes Up with Her Exes in a really boring way. It's just like really deceptive advertising, and that's probably what's pissing me off the most. I mean, they kind of fight, I guess. And I understand they wanted to flesh out Ramona more. I really just wish that Scott was there more. They're both bad people. You can't just spend time fixing Ramona, but then leaving Scott dead, and then just bringing him back for the final act. That doesn't work. They did this good in the comics because both of them learned something at the end, and that way they can both be together. But in this, it's just like forced. Like, if we were gonna stick to this whole premise of not being a dick to your partner, why does he just apologize to Knives and not Kim? And then when he is on screen, he's just a laughing stock and everybody just points out how shitty he is. Which was pretty obvious to anybody that he's already an asshole. I don't need that told to me several times. I also think it's just funny how there's like little new gens on Twitter going, you know, I think Scott's a bad person. I think he should have gotten worse. He dated a high schooler. Like, wow. It's almost like he was designed to be a shitty person at the start, so that there could be character development. Absolute insanity, I know. And some of the changes they made were just like stupid. Like, wow, she switches delivering DVDs for Amazon to Netflix now. Wow. Hey guys, did you know that the show is made by Netflix? And aside from little nitpicks like that, the story is just bland overall, which is the most disappointing part, because while they subverted my expectations in a disappointing way, I expected them to bring it around with this new whole story, but it was still fucking boring. And it's just so fucking weird to me. For one, what the fuck is the ending to episode 1? You know, it's the first fight between Matthew Patel and Scott Pilgrim. It's the same song and dance, everybody knows it, Scott wins, it's not that hard of a concept to overcome. But for some reason, the writers were like thinking, like they were just like tipping their glasses back onto their head, like, you know, we'll fake everyone out with this great plot twist. And I'm like, okay, well, that's kind of weird, that didn't happen, but you know, we can, it's a little bit of an edit here. It's fine, it's probably made to create dramatic tension, you know, this is a show, they're probably going to continue the fight in the next episode. But no, he's just fucking dead. Or, well, I guess technically he's not. I mean, they did some stupid, like, retcon thing with the, like, took him to a different dimension or something. I don't know. It's fucking stupid, man. And then they have a funeral for him. And then Envy just comes in and there's little tarps coming down from the windows and she's singing a song while this little montage plays. And I'm just sitting there thinking, what the fuck is going on? Like, this is not Scott Pilgrim. And here's the thing. This wouldn't be as much of an issue if they had advertised it as like a weird little fanfic thing or like an alternate universe or something, but they didn't do that. Because at that point, you know, I can't even get mad because like, it wasn't, they told me it wasn't that. And I'm not saying they had to put a disclaimer at the beginning of every trailer saying, warning, this is an alternate universe where Todd is gay and wants to fuck Wallace Wells. I just wish they had like shown those parts, because then it would have made it like abundantly more clear. Because then I wouldn't have had to sit here for like 5 episodes thinking, what the fuck is going on? And don't get me wrong, there are a few good moments in this show, I'm not gonna lie, some pretty good parts. I'll put some on the screen right now.
Man, it doesn't matter if she 15, my nigga. I like young girls. I like them 15.
And I know at the beginning I said I don't care what you like, but fuck that, because how the fuck do people like this show? If you know me, you know the one thing I hate more than anything is fucking new gens. Everybody, all the time, everywhere is just like, oh, you should gatekeep, oh, you should tell people to not like something. No, fuck new gens. They ruin fucking everything. Whenever I see anybody on Twitter or Instagram or any social media with one of these fucking profile pictures, I just start frothing at the mouth and screaming at the top of my lungs. New gens just don't have the capacity of liking things as much as I do. Especially Scott Pilgrim. You don't know jack shit. I retweeted a tweet on Twitter of fucking Wallace and Todd making out and some guy going, yeah, this show is dog shit. And then there's a bunch of fucking Matrix droids in the comments like, the Yaoi Nation does not claim you. What the fuck does that even mean? Which leads me to another thing. How do we know these are real people? How do we know these are an actual AI just designed to promote the show? For some shit-ass news story that I was never informed about. Nobody ever told me they were gonna make Gideon Grey fucking obsolete, not even by the 3rd episode. That doesn't even make sense. They're not even supposed to be up, like, fucking with each other. Did we ever even get to see Knives' badass samurai dad fight Scott? No, we didn't get to see that. You know why? You want to know why? I don't even fucking know. You know what we did get to see, though? We got to see Todd kissing Wallace. Wow, what a great substitution. Oh, and no, you know what else they had to do? They had to dress him up as Scott. It couldn't just be Todd. It had to be Todd dressed up as Scott. What the fuck is even happening? How do you even mentally prepare yourself for that? Like, how do you go into the booth, sit at the mic, and then just start making the weirdest sounds known to man? Like, he had to press his face up against that microphone and go, ugh, ugh, ugh. And no, don't even get me started on that stupid fucking funeral scene. It is so goddamn dumb. And why in the hell does Ramona make amends with her exes? This is not a mature story. This is not something to learn from. Scott Pilgrim, you were never supposed to take like advice from Scott Pilgrim. And you see these idiots on Twitter arguing about Scott having dated a high schooler in his 20s. Like, holy shit, dude. Holy fucking shit, dude. Character development exists. This story is about two sacks of shit learning to become not two sacks of shit so that they can be together without being sacks of shit to each other. But the show takes that in a completely new, unengaging direction that nobody likes. Unless you're a fucking AI. So let's start with my fucks list, okay? Fuck Netflix. Fuck the voice actors for going along with this. Fuck Michael Cera because fuck him. Fuck O'Malley for letting Netflix do this. And fuck my grandma. Fuck my girlfriend's aunt. Fuck O'Malley a second time for letting them do this. Fuck Netflix. Fuck Netflix. Fuck Netflix. Fuck Netflix. Fuck Netflix. Yeah, so here's a little gift I made for Netflix from me to them. It says, fuck you, Netflix. You know, I thought it would be a good parting gift since I'm not subscribing to them anymore. Ooh. Oh shit, I just knocked everything over. Okay, wait, one more time. This is what Netflix made me do, guys. Netflix made me destroy my entire setup. I'm not actually that mad, by the way. I'm just a really good actor. I'm being 100% serious, though. This shit is ass. So what are my final thoughts on Scott Pilgrim Takes Off? I don't know. I'm kind of really tired of trying to sound smart, so it's just bad. Go read the comics. It's a better use of your time. But if you watched the show first and liked it and then read the comics, you're a new gen through and through and I will never accept you. I'm the real writer of Scott Pilgrim. O'Malley was just a facade.